So, the Fractal update has just been released for No Man's Sky and it marks the first major update to the game so far in 2023. There are some major aspects of the update like the new Utopia expedition, revamped catalogue discoveries and a new starship. There are also, unsurprisingly, a plethora of PSVR 2 updates as part of the Fractal's release, as they've been released on the same day, but I won't go into those details in this video. And of course, there are always some smaller but still important changes that come with these updates that you may have missed. So with all these updates, I'm going to go over those in this video. So let's start off with a few visual upgrades, most notably the improved HDR lighting which has completely been reworked. This brings the hues and tones of the universe closer to the look of standard dynamic range displays, which is still enhanced by the brilliant lights and intense shadows of HDR. There are also some game options you can easily tweak in the main menu before you load into your save game. These allow you to update settings such as resolution, volume and various other things, as well as there being some nice descriptions around what each of them will do. A nice little quality of life improvement if you ask me. The ambience of alien structures have also been visually enhanced, similar to those ambient updates we saw in previous releases last year around the space station, anomaly, atlas stations and knowledge stones. These visual updates will affect portals, plaques and monoliths with the addition of ambient mist and a dramatic new visual effect upon activation. And sticking with some other ambient enhancements, wreckages now have more smoke and seem a little bit more realistic, so there should now be smoke and fog around colossal archives and swirl through abandoned planetary structures. The smoking and sparking of damaged machinery and crashed freighters have also been updated with these new atmospheric visual effects. And one little visual upgrade that grabs my attention is the dynamic scaling on PlayStation 5, which means it will adapt your display resolution during play, whilst ensuring a smooth frame rate at all times. There have also been some improvements to the visual quality in some situations, like spaceflight and in particular transitioning from deep space exploration to low altitude flight. There should be no hitches now, which is a great quality of life improvement if you ask me. So moving on from the visuals, we are also going to get ourselves a new visor, and it is called the Fearsome Visor, and it definitely looks like it's taken some inspiration from Star Wars here. Maybe that's why it has the name Fearsome. And I can only assume this is a reward for completing some of the new Utopia expedition, and I do think it looks pretty cool, so I'll certainly be spending some time trying to get that if it's via the expedition, and if not, wherever it's going to come from. So if you prefer playing No Man's Sky in third person, like myself, you're now going to have the option to choose between the left hand side and the right hand side, which is a nice little neat addition. There have been quite a few games that I've played in the past that allow you to do this, and it can be really handy in a variety of situations. Now, the Nintendo Switch is now a big part of No Man's Sky, and that gets updates as well, obviously. So Switch players are now able to complete Nexus missions for the first time on board the Space Anomaly, and not only that, but the story-driven mission A Trace of Metal is now also available on the Switch, meaning players can now delve into the secrets of the Sentinels and get themselves their very own Minotaur exocraft. Side note on A Trace of Metal, I have done a full walkthrough of that mission in my past videos. I'll leave the link to the description below if you want to check it out. Another one for both PlayStation and Nintendo Switch players is motion controls, which is going to achieve effortless precision when you're aiming at enemies with the multi-tool, and you can feel fully immersed as you tilt your hands to scan the flora and fauna with your analysis visor. This feature can of course be disabled and enabled, and the sensitivity and smoothing can also be altered in the options for it. As always, Hello Games tend to include a few quality of life improvements in their major updates across the game, and the Fractals update is no different. First up, there's a new quick charge function which allows base parts such as refiners to be fully refueled with a single button press, and the system for synchronizing the contents of your refiner in multiplayer has been apparently completely reworked for reliability and stability. And there is now also an emergency warp button that's going to allow you to reset your position in your freighter to rescue any ambitious builders, like myself, who have become caught somewhere within their freighter base. So a final little note, probably to go with the new starship, is that you can now have up to 12 starships at any given time in your fleet, which has been increased from the previous value of 9. Personally, I have about 5 starships, but only ever use my squid ship as it's my favourite and most upgraded. But for people who love having a collection of different ships, you're going to love this little update. So there are a few smaller updates that have come with the new Fractals update that you may have missed from the reveal trailer. For full patch notes, go and visit the official No Man's Sky website, and if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.